It's Joe, new Joe, new Joe. Oh, it's Joe, new Joe, new Joe. Oh, the New York Knicks, 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 in 596, the New York Knicks, in 596, the New York Knicks, in 596, the New York Knicks, in 596. We are the champions, my friend. We keep on fighting to the end. We are the champions. We are the champions. No time for losing, 'cause we are the champions of the world. Joke, no joke, you already know we in the building, baby. Oh man, it feels so good. It feels so good to be the champions, man. If yo, do you can you imagine getting to this space for 50 years and get disappointed year after year after year after year? To know not to get your hopes up high, now we can have confidence in our team when we see them play. You know, it was a beautiful day. Yo, man. I let me tell y'all something. Let me tell you how happy I am. I'm so happy that I had this shirt on yesterday. That's right. Sean Myers, good looking. 53 years of pain. Do you understand what that is? Being a fan for 50 something years and you finally get to see a championship. Man, this is the best feeling. But choke no joke, you already know I got a smoker for y'all tonight. Pac, I got you tonight, Pac. Rest in peace, my man B.I.G. But Pac, I got you tonight. This dirty pig, Porky, he is. Oh boy, you know what? Joke no joke. Let's get to the show. You already know. Make sure y'all share this one. This one is going to be phenomenal. Trust me when I tell you. Shout out to my champion, New York Knicks. We here, New York. Don't get out there and act like no Negroes Thursday at the parade. You hear me? You hear your big brother choke. You hear your cousin choke. You hear your nephew choke. New Yorkers, do not get out there and embarrass our city anymore. All right? Act accordingly. Act like you got some home training. Shout out Sean Myers. You already know. Choke no joke. Let's get to the show. And to get this one started, I gotta play the song that gives New York a look that I pray to God we never have to see again. Choke no joke. We live. You just came in. You at the #1 show on YouTube. All right. Truth be told, all day, every day, even on the holidays. Your boy Choke no joke. The NBA champion New York Knicks. All right, how we do? Let's get busy. All right, this one goes out to the New York heads. All right, this is a little flashback. I know y'all don't want to see. Let's get to it.
Choke no joke. Yeah. You know what Choke no joke. You know what it is. Let's go, let's go. 2020, rich niggas, money funny. We got killer bees and I lost my honey. My little sex master, yeah, she was a distraction to my mathematics. Then Corona happened. The government capping on what's really happening. Rock Nation signing niggas that's out here ratting. And Jay's the captain of the ship? Ain't this a bitch? You keep his sign and snitch? We lost Andre and Rich. Life's a bitch. Can't have a funeral no matter if you rich or poor. Overpopulated at morgues. Funeral homes, bodies all on the floor. No food in stores, no meat no more. These the last days if you never prayed. Have faith or saw the illest of days. Yo, it's tough. When you see Puff rock a hoodie with his baby mama hanging from a cross, you lost. Damn, you told the CEO on the gram he was a handsome man. That's sexual harassment in front of millions of fans. You made Fab wanna scram like Sunday Letitia. Joseph don't leave, Mary and Jesus. Sags, self-pleasing, some sneak thievers. If we were kids, you call them flat leavers. They use you, don't need you. It's birth you, then see ya. Cross you, then be ya. Curve you and flee ya. Niggas wanna be you until they see you. They idolize you like you in the case. Nigga, you know who got punched in the face. In the A on stage or any place. A nigga like me never retire like Mace. And don't even care if the church is the escape. Last real nigga alive amongst your face. Y'all big mad, no frosting on my face. You can't come out, Epstein flight log is out. And tell us what that spirit cooking about. Head to head with a satanist and niggas in doubt. The power of the dark side block me out. That's why I'm black and get it in any sport trick. That's why you the non-factor. 6ix9ine keep acting like you ain't acting. You wasn't flagging in the court yapping. That tough guy on the gram was just blabbing. Nigga, you capping. I'm the king of New York. At y'all niggas, I'm laughing. At the plaza. At the plaza. It's the king of New York. Choke no joke. We here now. You know what it is. Eden Wall, stand up.
It's joke, no joke, no joke. Choke, no joke, chiggy choke, no joke. Choke, no joke, chiggy choke, no joke. We in the building. All right. Shout out to the Atlanta Cultural Experience. I went through there today. You know what I mean? Shout out my girl Donna. I think her last name is Matthews. And everybody over there working on that. Shout out my man New Face, saw him out there with his exhibit. Few other people out there. Who else? What's my other guy name? Ja Lau. Shout out Ja Lau. He was in the joint showing his line. They had the Dayo Lounge up in there. The Atlanta Cultural Exchange. That's sexy for the ladies. think I put up a couple of videos while I was up there. Then I left there and went to the pool party, Shaka Zulu, at the pool party, you know. Went up there, open bar. This is all today. I went from one event to this event. It's how we do it in the A on the Sunday. See, for some reason, dudes ain't even in the pool. You know how y'all be talking about, oh, black women, they don't get in the water. All these women in the pool and no guys in there. And I didn't bring my swimming trunks. So that's the only reason I'm not in there. Cause I'd have walked in and seen them women in there, I'd have did a cannonball. Please. What up, ladies? There's the other side from the pool where everybody was at. This was held at Retreat. Retreat got good food too. But yeah, that's how Sunday popped off. Then I left there and I went to the Porsche track, to the rooftop party over there next door at the hotel next to the Porsche track. I don't know if any of y'all ever been to the Porsche joint, but there's another rooftop party that I went to this. So I did 3 parties this day, and then I still came here to get live and kick it with y'all. You know, usually I would have been on earlier, but I'm sorry, my people. I was running around. We got the FIBA World Cup. Look, here go to Porsche's spot. If you've never been to the Porsche track, you could go here, rent a Porsche, and drive it around the track. You know, get your speed on. If you nice like that. Shout out to Sir Davis Whiskey. They was in the building at the open bar. You know what I mean? Yeah, I was outside. Yeah, I was outside. But hopefully y'all cities, you know, be popping like that on the Sunday where you gotta bounce around. And only thing people don't like about Atlanta is parking situations. But uh for me to go to 3 different events today, I didn't oh no, I paid for parking once when I went to retreat. But one out of 3 places, that's not bad for Atlanta, especially when you downtown, period. They get you for parking, boy. Jesus, they get you for parking out here. But joke no joke, I'm here, man, because your boy Porkbutt, uh he had a problem with my Mopreme Shakur interview. You know, now all of a sudden he never talked bad about Mopreme. Excuse me, about Mopreme. You heard him? He sounded like such like a biatch. He sounded like a biatch. He was whispering and uh, you know, I never that nigga had the Michael Jackson whisper. You know, I never really.
talk bad about Mo Preem. You know, Preem. I only thing I said about Mo Preem was that Mo Preem. I just talked about the thing with Spoon with Mo Preem. I didn't, I never really talked bad about Mo Preem.
I'm looking at it like we all know that's a lie. Like we all know that's a lie. Mo Preem, that nigga ain't really Tupac, brother. That. They did this to Mo Preem. They did that. Why you think you ain't see him around death row? That. Now all of a sudden,
Oh, Mo Preem. I never had a beef with Mo Preem. I never had a beef with Mo Preem. Mo Preem has always been cool.
like he's such a liar. Like I would go play a clip of him kicking Mo Preem back in, but y'all already know I'm not known for lying, right? So that the liar is sitting there trying to say he never had a problem with Mo Preem, and we know that is a lie, right? So he know Mo Preem got that lawsuit going, and there's 100 uh John Does and probably Jane Does in Mo Preem's lawsuit uh for the wrongful death Tupac, or I don't know if it's the wrongful death. I don't know how his lawsuit is categorized, but he filed a lawsuit against Keefy D, and then there's 100 other uh people that will be named probably after this trial is over. And with the outcome of this trial, then Mo Preem will be able to have his civil trial with Keefy D. And depending on the outcome of it, well, it don't matter what the outcome of it is. When they go to court, we'll see who these other 100 people are. And I bet $1 to a donut that Reggie ass is going to be in that list. That's why he got up there.
Uh, you know, I I never really had a problem with Mo Preem. Mo Preem's been cool. I know I only told a story.
Like, nigga, you probably wasn't even there telling the story. Now, with that being said, oh damn, I ain't turned my Instagram on. Hold on. With that being said, old Porkbutt got up here and lied. And I hate that I'ma have to go and show y'all stuff that I've already broken down when it comes to this dirty rat pig, FBI informant, convicted drug dealer. Oh, he only snitched on the mayor. That's the only person he snitched on. That's a lie. There's a dude on YouTube. You know what? I gotta play that dude's video. And he's talking about how Porkbutt gave up a lot of the Gray Street Crips, allegedly. Instagram, I'm live on YouTube. The link's in my story. You can watch here or you can go click there. But if you want to see the visuals, click the link in my story. All right. Choke no joke. I'm live on YouTube. I'm live on Instagram. All right. Y'all want to network with each other? Yeah, do that. All right. Let's get to it. So First thing I want to say is, if you got a link to the prosecution, please share this with them. Send this to them, and they can watch live. If you got a link to Keefe D's new lawyer, um, an email, anything, send this link to them right now, and because they're gonna need to see this. Um, Now I'm gonna address the lie that Porkbutt Reggie Wright Jr. or Junie, as they would call him, Junie, right? Um, I'm gonna address the stuff that he said that were lies, right? And that talked to Mo Preem about when I asked Mo Preem, if Tupac survived and he knew that Death Row paid the guy that shot him $60,000 to go testify for Suge. Uh, how do you think he? No, do you think that he would be cool with that, or what would be his response? How do you think he would feel? Right. So, uh, in that question, a lot of people say, "Oh, Choke don't know how to ask questions." Did it? Shut up! You don't know what you're talking about. First of all, I only had uh, about 60 to 120 seconds to interview Mo Preem. I'm lucky I got that much because he had to go on the stage by the time I started my interview with him. So I needed to lay out a picture to get to the point to ask my question so that Mo Preem could see all this evidence and then give a response. So if you had a problem with it, who cares? Kick rocks, right? I got my question off. I interviewed the man. I shook the man hand that you probably never even met before. Right? But so Porky, aka Rodent Rat Jr., he says that he never said who the shooter was because he didn't find out until Brennan and Ladd went to Vegas 3 days later and they saw the MGM tape. And yeah, Reggie's such a liar. Yo, Las Vegas Metro Police Department, your prosecution team, your prosecutors. I Are y'all just really just trying to railroad Keefe D? Like, are y'all really not considering the fact that Keefe D is telling y'all that Reggie Wright Jr. allegedly orchestrated the murder of Tupac Shakur? Las Vegas Metro Police Department, or y'all prosecutors, are y'all not listening? Right? Because I don't understand how y'all want to pick and choose where Keefe D is lying, right? You want to prosecute him because he say he was in the car and they drove up and Tupac reached for a gun and they started firing when he reached for the gun. This that y'all listen to all that story and y'all say, "Oh, he did it. It's true. This that other." But when he tells y'all that Reggie Wright orchestrated it allegedly, and he said that in '98, way before the BT Chronicles, way before he met Greg Caden, and Greg Caden told him, "We don't want that story. We don't want that story. This is the story we want. This is what happened. You, right? Uh-huh. Right, and this and that, right? Uh-huh. Right, yeah. You better agree or we're gonna prosecute you on this PCP. Now, this is what happened. Because in 98, before he met Greg Caden, before there was a Wrap It Up Task Force, Keefe D told the FBI that Reggie orchestrated Tupac's murder. That's documented, allegedly. No, not allegedly, but that's documented. But I'm saying allegedly that he orchestrated it. But it's documented that Keefy D gave a statement that Reggie Wright Jr. orchestrated the murder of Tupac Shakur in his 98 interview with the FBI. Now, in 2025, he got on the news again and said the same thing. So what is Vegas doing? Is it that the blue wall of silence? They don't try to convict their own? Justin, good looking. I appreciate it. Thanks for the cash app. Right? Why they only want to believe Keefy D when he say that, right? But they don't want to believe Keefy D when he's telling them that it's Reggie. Why do y'all out there believe Keefy D in this story or whatever? But when he tells y'all that Reggie orchestrated, y'all don't want to believe that. Why? So, Las Vegas, I'm gonna do y'all one favor again, right? Hopefully y'all watching. Hopefully Keefy D's lawyer is watching. The defense is watching, because the defense, this is your way of getting Frank Alexander and Michael Moore to testify in this trial by using their phone calls. Now, I know that Frank Alexander is dead. And if you are new to this channel, you must be to be telling me that Frank Alexander's dead. If you think I don't know that, right? If you think that I don't know that Michael Moore is dead as well, may they both rest in peace, then you are definitely new to this channel. Now, what I mean, will Michael Moore and Frank Alexander testify in the Tupac case is, will the defense be smart enough to use their phone calls and their statements to implicate Reggie Wright Jr. in allegedly orchestrating the murder of Tupac Shakur? Now I'm going to do the work for you, Keefy D Defense and Las Vegas Metro Police Department, that I already did it for you before. But in all you that's new to this channel, now that we know all that we know, I did this video almost 3 years ago. 2-3 years ago, right? The goal to show you I understand what's going on in this case, and this case is cracked if they start looking at the right people. Now, what we want in this case, defense, if you watching, hopefully somebody forward this to you, is for you to subpoena Frank Alexander's and Michael Moore's conversation from our good friend, Mr. R.J. Bond, and submit them as evidence in there to contradict Reggie's testimony in the grand jury, and for the defense, use it to co-sign Keefy D's theory that allegedly Reggie Wright Jr. has orchestrated the murder of Tupac Shakur. Now, we're going to start here. This is going to be a goodie, because I had to go and dig up the receipts, because this dude lies so much, right, that he got these wannabe YouTubers mopping him off. They and anything little thing this goofball say, they just think this dude is just the truth. They disregard the fact that this dude was once a cop and just came home from jail a minute ago. The nigga still smell like core craft. That's jail soap, right? Like this nigga just came home from selling drugs. And these dudes look at him and praise him, think that he was some label boss, this, that, and other. But they know negate the fact that this man once took an oath to protect and serve the community and was out here pushing drugs, meth, PCP or whatever it was, marijuana, cocaine. This is a man that had a badge. And these stupid ass couples and all these other people out here sit there and they praise a guy that had a badge, that took an oath to be a cop and turned a drug dealer and worse, possibly a murderer. And disregard all the evidence that's in their face. But let me give you a reminder. And prosecutors, y'all already know R.J. Bond. Defense, he should have reached out to y'all already. Get this tape. Shout out to my man, right? And get this tape and submit it as evidence. Get this tape and submit it to the FBI. Unless these different agencies are all a part of this cover up, which I doubt. They just not looking at the right things. But here we go again with what I'm about to play. Just listen. Because Michael Moore told Frank, even Frank was oblivious like some of you goofball YouTubers. Frank was right there and did not believe what was right under his eyes. And now we know for a fact the conversation that Frank and Michael Moore was having, we seen it play out. They talked about it in real time when Tupac and them got shot and how they thought things was going to play out. Now that everything done played out, let's see who was right and who was wrong, because Frank was wrong in certain things. And Michael Moore was spot on. And this is why the prosecution and the defense need to use this as credibility when Reggie gets up on that stand to testify, and use Michael Moore's and Frank Alexander's phone call as their testimony and what took place that day. Let the jury hear it. Let the jury hear it. Let them make a decision. But now you going to be the jury. You watching, y'all going to listen right now, and you tell me, Tupac, two main securities, Michael Moore and Frank Alexander, are on the phone. Michael Moore doesn't know that Frank Alexander is recording this phone call, right? They're talking about the weird behavior around Tupac getting shot. Like Reggie never, ever, 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 ever went to Club 662 prior to the day Tupac got shot. Strange? Listen to this phone call. Let's get to it.
My bad, y'all. There we go.
Started. Need y'all to listen well. And I'm going to be talking throughout this. Need y'all to listen well.
Copyright disclaimer under Section 107 of the Copyright Act 1976, allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, teaching, scholarship, and research. Fair uses are use permitted by the copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing nonprofit educational personal use tips to balance in favor of fair use. And I'm using this under fair use. Shout out to my man R.J. Bond. You know what it is. This is the conversation between Frank Alexander and Michael Moore about Reggie Wright Jr. behavior and them putting it together that allegedly Reggie was behind Tupac's killing. Listen, and this tape should be submitted in court.
And now that we got 100 people in here, let's get this started. Need y'all to listen well. And I'm going to be talking throughout this. Before I do that, let me do this. Copyright disclaimer under Section 107 of the Copyright Act 1976. Talking about the night Tupac got. Okay. Everything's possible. I put in touch with you. I got to pick up. Okay. They'll be able to use you for half an hour or so. All right. Sorry about that. Oh, Reggie knows. I know he does. Because he said some things that are weird. Things that you normally don't say. He said. Like what? His comment was, we ain't going to be hurting for nothing. Who is we? He said, we ain't. This is what he told me. I said, damn, man, that's pretty sad. I said, financially, that's going to fuck some shit up. And he goes, we ain't going to be hurting for nothing. Now, right now, what you're hearing is Michael Moore talking to Frank Alexander. And what he just said to him is, he like, damn, nigga, Pac is dead now, man. That shit gonna hurt financially. And Reggie says, we ain't gonna be hurting for nothing. And that's why Frank like, who the fuck is we? Like, that nigga don't own no company. Who is we? Right? But what Michael Moore is saying is that is a strange response to be having, like when Tupac died. You talking about, oh, we ain't gonna hurt for nothing? What? I said, damn, man, that's pretty sad. I said, financially, that's gonna
fuck some shit up. And he goes, we ain't gonna be hurt for nothing. So,
yeah, but Reggie saying that don't mean, you know, that's Suge's involvement or this and that. Because I want to tell you something else, man. You know, we don't know, well, we know that Reggie and Suge are close. They grew up together. They're like brothers, right? We don't know how much Suge completely trust Reggie or will say certain things to Reggie. You know, maybe there's nothing he won't say to him. Then again, maybe there is. Maybe Reggie knows a lot, okay? But I don't think if Suge had anything to do with Tupac's death, he would tell Reggie.
he would.
You think he
He
would?
would. I know he would.
Like,
Because they're tighter than you think. Everything that Suge does, Reggie knows. Because I tell you right now, anything goes down with Suge, you know who's gonna run this company? Reggie.
wrong. What do you mean, Death Row?
He would much rather see it turn over to Reggie.
Nope, wrong, because then everything comes back on Reggie, right? Everything.
Now, let's stop right there for a second, right? Now, Frank is asking Michael Moore, do you think that if Suge has something to do? Now, remember, this is September of 1996 when this is going down, this phone call. Like, you know, or September or October, right? Because Tupac is dead, right? And this is all right in that 30 to 60-day window, all right? So they are looking back on what's going on, right? And they putting it together in their heads by looking at character and behavior, right? Now, Michael Moore is telling Frank that Suge and Reggie is tighter than Frank think. And if something happened to Suge, that Reggie's gonna take over the run Death Row. Frank is telling him, nah, I don't think so. Nah, Frank, I don't think Suge would tell Reggie if he was setting Tupac up. I don't think Reggie would be in on it. Michael Moore is like, you're wrong. I believe Suge would have Reggie involved in it, right? That's one thing to keep in mind, right? Now remember, this is 96, right? In the 60-day window of what happened, right? What do we know today? Right? Then I just asked Daz, was Reggie running Death Row? Don't Reggie get on here and say that he was running Death Row? Then Reggie put out a book called uh, some label boss, some, right? So who was wrong and who was right? Frank, rest in peace, was wrong, and Michael Moore was right. Because when Suge got violated and went to jail, who say they ran Death Row? Reggie, right? Frank was sleeping. Let's get back to it.
Is pointed at Reggie. That's pressure Reggie can't handle. Let me tell you, if something goes wrong with Suge, who's going to run the company? Common sense, right?
Sharitha is on the thing. Sharitha's on the paper.
Yeah,
Reggie would carry most of the burden.
man, I can't see it. I cannot see that. I can't see that.
And you know who I got that from? A good source, a family member.
Now, I'm gonna say Frank was sleeping. Frank was sleeping. Michael Moore is telling him, nigga, if something happened to Suge, Reggie gonna run the company. Frank like, nah, I don't think. Now, right there, what we know today is what happened, right? When Suge went in, allegedly, according to Das, Tammy Hawkins, the girl that
Reggie Wright Jr. snitched on with Greg Caden and said that she helped Suge allegedly kill Biggie, right? By going to see Suge and taking the orders and going to hire Poochie and kill Biggie. Now, according to Daz, a lot of stuff was in Tammy Hawkins' name when Suge went to jail. And then we know that Reggie was dealing with Tammy Hawkins, and Suge told me that Reggie was allegedly dating or banging Tammy Hawkins too. Because we remember Reggie and Tammy Hawkins had a court case together because they had an apartment together somewhere. Remember that? That's a show I did a while ago, right? Reggie and Tammy Hawkins, who used to be Suge's chick. I don't know if they got a kid or not. And she was called Teresa Swan in the documentary, right? Or the recreation of one of the stories. They was calling her that, right? So Frank saying, oh, Sharita will take over the label. But we know it was Teresa Swan, and then we know Teresa Swan was dealing with Reggie, and we know they had was doing some type of something together because they was in court together, and then Reggie snitched on her. Remember, I think it brought her to Vegas or whatever, set her up, and then she had to allegedly, and then she played the part in trying to set Suge up for Biggie murder or whatever. Then we had Michelle A, right? So Reggie was working with Suge's Tammy Hawkins and Teresa Swan, right? Then Reggie was working with Michelle A, running Death Row, right? So Michael Moore is 100% correct. Suge is going to trust Reggie. Buildings, properties, cars, all in Reggie's name, right? So if allegedly Suge was going to set up Tupac and kill Reggie, I mean, if Suge was going to allegedly kill Tupac and set him up, would he tell Reggie? Would Reggie be in on it? According to Michael Moore, yes. Let's get back to it.
So he like, yo, I'm telling you, nigga.
I was at the hospital. Reggie, you know why?
Keep that thought. And remember, he cool with Sharita, right? But keep that thought.
Man, I can't see it. I cannot see that. I can't see that.
Even and you know who I got that from? A good source, a family member. A family member. Reggie's dad.
Reggie's dad.
Reggie's dad told me that.
Wow.
He said, Michael, if anything happens to Suge, this is what he told me. Anything happens to Suge, Reggie would run the majority of the company. And I said, even over Sharita? He goes, trust me. Reggie, you know why? One thing Suge does is trust Reggie. He does. I'm saying Reggie fucked that whole shooting deal up. All that shit was Reggie's fault. Reggie was the one that wasn't with Suge. Reggie was the one who, I was at the hospital when Suge called Reggie in there. You see what I'm saying? I was there. One thing Suge didn't do is he didn't blame any of it for Reggie. And trust me, this shit was all Reggie's fault.
Yeah, it was. It was all Reggie's fault. It should have been blamed.
Y'all hear that? It was all Reggie's fault. This is Reggie's security. It was all Reggie's fault. Suge was ignorant. He trusted this grimy ass nigga. He ain't see him for the snake that he was. He probably see it now, but it's way too goddamn late. But as they said, it was all Reggie's fault. We all know this, right? If he's the head of security and somebody get killed and he's the head of security, we already know it's his fault. But watch how they break down how it's his fault.
You know, I mean, it wasn't even something where you could debate it. Any common sense tells you that the fault wasn't yours. You've been off for 6 weeks. Every one of the decisions that got me out of there, you in there, and everything else, all that came from Reggie's mouth. Yeah. You see what I'm saying? Yeah. All that came straight from Reggie. That's why his shit was so comical. Because I kept saying, boy, and then when I talked to Mr. When I went, we went jet skiing with Mr. Knight, he told me on the lake. He goes, yeah, if anything happens, anything comes up, Reggie would be the one running the whole day in and day out operation. So Shook would turn it to him. Because I'm going to tell you who he wouldn't turn it to. He has more faith in Reggie than he does Norris and, what you call it? Death Row people. He would turn it over to Reggie and say, everything that Shook would get, he would call Reggie, and then Reggie would put it into play.
Well, but Mike, do you really think that it was a setup? I gotta ask that question. Do you, in your heart, think it was a setup?
Now, this is Tupac security, two main security, talking to each other, right? Reggie is the head of security. Somebody gets killed, and Suge don't sue this nigga? Reggie is the head of security, his whole security company. He had 24, 25 cops out there on detail that weekend that they was out there, right? That day. The main star gets killed. And Suge is not mad at Reggie for nothing. Suge don't fire Reggie's company for the lack of security. Suge is not mad at Reggie for telling these dudes they couldn't carry their guns. Suge continues to work with Reggie. Suge goes to jail and let Reggie runs his company with other people. Miss Chalet, Norris, or whoever it was. Reggie goes and visits Suge the first year he's in jail over 170 something times in 1 year. So it's clear that he was running the label or getting orders from Suge and being a pigeon. You know, we already know he a stool pigeon, but he's also a message pigeon. You know what I'm saying? Put the message in his beak and he fly out to jail and go to the label and relay messages, right? But Suge put properties in his name, companies in his name. So now you got Tupac security, Reggie's security. These guys work for Reggie Wright Jr. security, Right Way security. And they sitting here questioning, was it a setup? That makes sense to y'all? That Reggie's own security is asking each other, yo, you think it was a setup? They know it was a setup. And I'm going to prove it.
Y'all hear that? Now, Frank asked Michael Moore, yo, do you think that was a setup like to kill Pac and Suge? Do you think that was a setup? Or in your heart of hearts, think about it. Do you think that was a setup? Watch this.
Do you, in your heart, think it was a setup? That's a hard question.
It's a hard question for me, Frank.
Okay, but see, Mike, it's not for me. You see what I'm saying?
Let me tell you why it was hard. Because I've heard some other, remember I hang out with Reggie.
Right.
And you know me and Reggie, we're sort of tight.
Right.
But you know, me and you and Reggie, I hang out with both of y'all. So I'm telling you, from the end that I see with him, when he told me the other day, because like he told me, he goes, yo, man, go order me some red carpet. I go, what? He you need to put red carpet in your penthouse suite. Are you a fool? He said, yeah, man, I done crossed over to the other side. Then he started laughing.
Now you heard him, right? That Reggie told him to order him some red carpet for his penthouse. And he like, what? Order you some red carpet? Reggie, yeah, man, I done crossed over to the other side. Meaning I'm not a cop no more. I'm a criminal. Did Reggie or did Reggie not just come out of jail for trafficking drugs across this country in over 3 states? Cocaine, marijuana, PCP. He definitely crossed over to the other side. Why are we not to believe that?
Because, like, he told me, he goes, yo, man, go order me some red carpet. I go, what? You need to put red carpet in your penthouse suite. Are you a fool? He said, yeah, man, I done crossed over to the other side. Then he started laughing. Then I said, I know you ain't serious. Man, he goes, I tried this shit the right way. And then we started laughing, right? He just says little things to make me think and to make his dad nervous. You see what I'm saying? Because his dad always tells me and tells me, hey, talk to Reggie. Hey, talk to Reggie. Hey, talk to Reggie.
You heard that? You heard that? Reggie father used to talk to Michael Moore and them, like, yo, talk to this nigga Reggie, man. This nigga, he think he a fucking gangbanger now. Like, yo, talk to this nigga, man. This nigga, he losing. Reggie tells him, yo, go put a red carpet in my house and shit. Yo, I'm crossing over to the other side. Fuck, I tried doing this shit legit. That's why his ass just came home from jail not too long ago. Right? Pay attention. Y'all think this nigga had nothing to do with Tupac? This is what I'm saying. He's a fucking rat. And he's working with the police. And this is why they probably not indicting him on this Tupac shit. And they getting ready to fucking make Keefy D the fucking scapegoat. You know what I'm saying? And sacrifice him for the sake of law enforcement.
Then I said, I know you ain't serious. Man, he goes, I tried this shit the right way. And then we started to turn it to him. Because I'm going to tell you who he wouldn't turn it to. He has more faith in Reggie than he does Norris and, what you call it? Death Row people. Death Row people. He would turn it over to Reggie and say, everything that shit would get, he would call Reggie. And then Reggie would put it into play.
Well, and Mike, you really think that it was a setup? Now you got to ask that question. Do you, in your heart, think it was a setup? That's a hard question.
It's a hard question for me, Frank.
Okay, but see, Mike, it's not for me. You see what I'm saying?
Let me tell you why it was hard. Because I've heard some other, because remember I hang out with Reggie.
Right.
And you know me and Reggie, we're sort of tight.
Right.
But you know, me and you and Reggie, I hang out with both of y'all. So I'm telling you, from the end that I see with him, when he told me the other day, because like he told me, he goes, yo, man, go order me some red carpet. I go, what? You need to put red carpet in your penthouse suite? Are you a fool? He said, yeah, man, I done crossed over to the other side. Then he started laughing. Then I said, I know you ain't serious. Man, he goes, I tried this shit the right way. And then we started laughing, right? He just says little things to make me think and to make his dad nervous. You see what I'm saying? Because his dad always tells me and tells me, hey, talk to Reggie. Hey, talk to Reggie. Hey, talk to Reggie. You see what I'm saying? Now, I'm going to tell you right now, Frank, between me and you, Reggie's in too deep.
Oh, yeah,
He's in way too deep.
Yeah, we figured that was happening anyway. We talked about that before.
There's no reason for him to be in as deep as he he's in. You see what I'm saying? Yeah. So he's doing this shit out of loyalty. He's sticking around out of loyalty. Then they said some things, right, that I look back and remember what he said. What you gonna do, Frank? What you gonna do? You know what he wanted you to do? Do you really want to know? Yeah. So you know. Uh-huh. See, but that's deal with them, that was for real. There wasn't no joke there.
Well, sure, you guys know what I was gonna do.
Yeah, what you gonna do, Frank? What you gonna do? You know what he meant?
No.
You don't?
No, I don't. Obviously, I don't. What did he mean?
He wanted you to take someone out.
Like,
okay, Frank.
Right there, they was trying to get Frank allegedly to kill somebody, right? And they was after Tupac got shot up. They like, what you gonna do, Frank? What you gonna do? And then Michael Moore asked Reggie, what did he mean by that? And he's like, niggas need to start disappearing. And this is the person that these people out here be putting on YouTube, a drug dealing, allegedly murderous, goddamn former cop.
Okay.
So right there, he tell him they try to put pressure on Frank, like, yo, Frank, what you gonna do?
See, I was just telling you. I had to go back and ask Reggie what it meant.
did you ask him?
You know what he wanted you to do? Do you really want to know?
Yeah.
So you know.
Uh-huh.
See, but that deal with them, that was for real. There wasn't no joke there.
Well, sure, you guys know what I was gonna do.
Yeah, what you gonna do, Frank? What you gonna do? You know what he meant?
No.
You don't?
No, I don't. Obviously, I don't. What did he mean?
He wanted you to take someone out.
Like,
okay, Frank. See, I was just telling you. I had to go back and ask Reggie what it meant.
did you ask him?
I sure did.
Really?
I sure did.
And he said what?
He said niggas should be disappearing. What do you think? See?
Like who?
That's what I'm saying. But see, evidently, they know who it was. You see what I'm saying? That's what I was saying.
So right there, Michael Moore is telling Frank that he even went and asked Reggie to confirm, like, y'all want Frank to kill somebody? He like, what you think? Like, niggas need to start coming up missing. And then Michael Moore says, that's how I think they know who the fuck did it. But of course, Porkbutt knew who did it because he was in on it. Allegedly.
That's what I'm saying. But see, evidently, they know who it was. You see what I'm saying? That's what I was saying. Frank.
Yeah.
Maybe say that over and over and over.
Yeah.
What you gonna do, Frank? What you gonna do? My homeboy is gone. I had to go back and ask Reggie.
Well, see, you remember that too.
Yeah. I remembered a complete conversation. There's a reason why I remembered it. Because the first thought that came to mind, they want you to take some action. You didn't feel that?
Mike, I probably didn't even think about it. You know what I'm saying?
So I went back and asked Reggie straight up to his face. I said, Reggie, what was Suge implying? And then Reggie, he got sort of stupid on me. Oh, nigga, you don't know see what I'm saying? He said, you don't know what's up? Niggas need to be disappeared around here. You know, that's old shit in the field. You know, that kind of shit. I was talking to you serious. See, I thought, I said, did these fools convince Reggie?
So, Mike, you think from who told you it was a $51 million insurance policy?
Resources out Compton.
From Compton.
From Compton.
Well, listen, I heard it from Compton too. Okay, and I just heard it yesterday. And I heard it was the 50.
51 million, and then I know who insured it.
Who?
Lloyd's of London. Lloyd's of London insured it at definitely the asking price, what they insured it for. Then I know exactly who the beneficiary was.
Sure.
Yep.
Now, it's not abnormal for a record label to take out an insurance policy on the artist. We all know that. Like today, like back then, it sounded foreign. But today we know all the goddamn labels do that shit. You know what I'm saying? But we say Lords of London, I guess that's the insurance company, had a insurance policy on Tupac for $51 million, and Suge was the beneficiary.
And I heard it was the 50.
51 million, and then I know who insured it.
Who?
Lloyd's of London. Lloyd's of London insured it at definitely the asking price, what they insured it for. Then I know exactly who the beneficiary was.
Sure.
Yep.
So why point everything back to me?
Oh, it has to be pointing towards you. It has to point to you because you take the heat for everyone else. It's logical. It's logical. We could say, well, security, and then that's why Reggie ain't big to speaking up. He knows that they could blame you, and then it's just on you. Frank didn't have his gun. You see what I'm saying? Hey, and you know what? I got to thinking about the whole thing. Remember when I made a big deal about me being on him? Everything? Remember when I said, hey, man, I don't know if that shit is right. I said, because, I've been with him, and they sort of, how they shunned me off? Nah, we gonna go ahead. And I said, hey, Reggie, I said, I've been with him the whole week. Then he just went. Then he did something that was weird at the table. I don't know if you've seen it. He said, don't worry about it, Michael. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. You see how he got sort of frustrated? Why? You know what? Now let's think about that. Would he have normally made a big deal with me staying with him?
No, absolutely not. No.
You see what I'm saying?
Now, even right here, yo, somebody call 911. Reggie's busted. Somebody call 911. Reggie's busted. Listen, he said right here, it was weird. Like, I'm like, yo, he like, yo, I'm on pop. And they like, nah. He like Reggie getting frustrated and with him like any other time, he don't give a fuck. Like, why does he give a fuck now? Right? I'm telling you, Reggie's all over this Tupac killing, boy. The police is protecting him.
Remember when I made a big deal about me being on him? Everything? Remember when I said, hey, man, I don't know if that shit is right. I said, because, I've been with him, and they sort of, how they shunned me off? Nah, we gonna go ahead. And I said, hey, Reggie, I said, I've been with him the whole week. Then he just went. Then he did something that was weird at the table. I don't know if you've seen it. He said, don't worry about it, Michael. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. You see how he got sort of frustrated? Why? You know what? Now let's think about that. Would he have normally made a big deal with me staying with him?
No, absolutely not. No.
You see what I'm saying?
Absolutely not.
I want y'all to keep in mind, right? Michael Moore is sitting there beefing with Reggie about doing security for Tupac. He was just with Tupac in Milan. He was just with Tupac in New York. Why are you taking him off him? Because he don't want to give up his gun, right? Everybody else that gave up their gun. He's like, no. And that nigga's a Marine, so he's probably a great shot, right? But stay focused on that part right there. Reggie's beefing with Michael Moore about him being on Tupac. Let me remind y'all this. Reggie was fired. Reggie was fired from Tupac prior to going to Las Vegas. So why the F is he sitting there beefing with Michael Moore, telling him not to be on Tupac, when technically he don't supposed to be doing security for Tupac at all anyway. I'm the one to keep telling y'all Death Row killed Tupac. You know what I mean? I'm telling you, y'all want to believe Keefy D wasn't down with this setup of this story and letting on them then play a part in this allegedly that was orchestrated by somebody else. Them niggas got paid to tell this story. They didn't know it was going to get flipped on them, allegedly. Now, keep in mind, Reggie was fired. We seen the facts. So why is he beefing with Michael Moore so much when he ain't even supposed to have security on Tupac, period? Now, I know better because I'm been in the industry that even though Pac fired Reggie personally, Reggie still works for the label. So he still, if Suge is hanging with Tupac, then Reggie still has to cover whatever Suge say, even if Pac don't use right way security for his personal stuff. Because remember, it's label stuff and then it's personal stuff. You know what I'm saying? So keep that in mind. Reggie don't even supposed to be doing security for Tupac, but he keep taking off Tupac main guy and got an attitude about it.
It was weird because you were an alternate. That's right. You were an alternate bodyguard because Kevin Hackey wasn't there. That's right. And Kevin's supposed to have been there. I had a prank for the whole week in New York. There was no deal for me saying, why did they kept insisting that I do the cash register? They were insisting that. You didn't notice it? No, I do. And I'm sitting here going to myself. Yeah, I was sitting right there in the meeting. That's right. And I'm saying to myself, why is it a big deal? I've been with this fool. Everyone in the room knew that we had just got back.
Y'all paying attention? Reggie putting Michael Moore on the cash register at the Club 662. He want him to be security for the cash register. This nigga been with Tupac all week. Now you taking him off Tupac and you put him at the cash register? The cash register. Michael Moore's like, yo, that ain't make no sense. That was weird. Like, everybody know I'm with Pac, and me and Kevin Hackey switch off. Kevin Hackey ain't here. Why you don't want me with Pac? You want me at the cash register?
Right. And Kevin's supposed to have been there. I had a prank for the whole week in New York. There was no deal for me saying, why did they kept insisting that I do the cash register? They were insisting that. You didn't notice it? No, I do. And I'm sitting here going to myself. Yeah, I was sitting right there in the meeting. That's right. And I'm saying to myself, why is it a big deal? I've been with this fool. Everyone in the room knew that we had just got back. Man, you can make this spooky because then in that meeting where everybody was told don't carry a gun anywhere. Now, wait. Now, and that's the first time we've been in Vegas where somebody said we should carry guns. That's right. And then they...
Y'all heard that, right? This was our first time in Vegas that they ever told us we can't carry guns. And how ironically Tupac gets shot that night. Then we had that weird meeting where they told us we can't carry guns. All the times we've been to Vegas, they never told us we can't carry our guns. Now they telling us we can't carry our guns. This is where they get into Reggie and them talking about don't carry the guns. This whole shit was a setup. This shit ain't got nothing to do with no Orlando Anderson. Y'all niggas is goofy.
They were insisting that. You didn't notice it?
No, I do.
And I'm sitting here going to myself.
Yeah, I was sitting right there in the meeting.
That's right, and I'm saying to myself, why is it a big deal? I've been with this fool. Everyone in the room knew that we had just got back.
Man, see, you can make this spooky because then in that meeting where everybody was told don't carry a gun anywhere.
Now, wait. Now,
and that's the first time we've been in Vegas where somebody said we shouldn't carry guns.
That's right. And then they were really persistent about you not having one. You see what I'm saying? They're going to be checking you. And then he was even trying to convince the people with CCW not to carry.
Right.
Like they wasn't going to give them courtesy up.
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
Right.
And then I looked at it. Now, we'd have been to Vegas about 5 times, Frank.
Right.
Have you ever heard him say, don't carry your weapon?
Absolutely not.
Let me tell you this. What does Reggie always say?
Oh, yeah.
They always say, make sure you have your shit.
Yeah.
Now, after that shit was over, we had all been carrying anyway. So why didn't he say, yo, after he left, why did he say, yo, y'all niggas keep y'all shit on you? You see what I'm saying?
It's too much stuff going on now.
Frank, I'm telling you, I'm going by the vibes that I seen prior to it starting.
Right.
Once again, right there, another abnormal situation. Reggie, Michael Moore asks Frank, what do Reggie always tell us? Yo, nigga, make sure y'all got y'all guns on y'all. Make sure y'all got y'all guns on y'all. Make sure y'all got y'all guns on y'all. Now, all of a sudden, he don't want us to have our guns?
After that shit was over, we had all been carrying anyway. So why didn't he say, yo, after he left, why did he say, yo, y'all niggas keep y'all shit on you? You see what I'm saying?
It's too much stuff going on now.
Frank, I'm telling you, I'm going by the vibes that I seen prior to it starting.
Right.
It even started like someone new.
Well, let me tell you this, what I was told. I was told that things weren't that good between Suge and Tupac within the last few weeks while he was on gang-related.
No, wait, I'm going to go back before. What did I tell you?
It happened on Gridlock too, though.
What did I tell you?
What did I tell y'all? What did I tell y'all? The only reason they could pull wool over people's eyes is because Michael Moore and Frank Alexander allegedly got murdered. But they say they both committed suicide. Right? What did Frank just say? I heard that Tupac and Suge was having problems. Did y'all hear that? Or do I need to bring it back? Now, you done heard from Pac family saying that Pac was leaving. All y'all goofballs listening to this this dirty cop. Right? Michael Moore and Frank and them is telling you right now, Suge and Tupac had beef. Asks Frank, what do Reggie always tell us? Yo, nigga, make sure y'all got y'all guns on y'all. Make sure y'all got y'all guns on y'all. Make sure y'all got y'all guns on y'all. Now all of a sudden he don't want us to have our guns.
That shit was over. We had all been carrying anyway. So why didn't he say, yo, after he left, why did he say, yo, y'all niggas keep y'all shit on you? You see what I'm saying?
It's too much stuff going on now.
Frank, I'm telling you, I'm going by the vibes that I seen prior to it starting.
Right.
It even started like someone new.
Well, let me tell you this, what I was told. I was told that things weren't that good between Suge and Tupac within the last few weeks while he was on gang-related.
No, wait, I'm going to go back before. What did I tell you?
It happened on Gridlock, too, though.
What did I tell you what happened in New York that I witnessed?
What?
When he said he was bailing.
Who?
Remember I told you me and Al was riding in the limo and we heard Snoop do an interview with a lady DJ and he turned and he started smashing shit up in the limo. Hey, get me back to that motherfucker hotel. This shit is bullshit. I ain't got no motherfucker. I ain't got my back. Fuck this, fuck that.
Oh, your pop.
Remember I told you we walked him off the way upstairs with Suge. And we walked him down and we was there. We heard the shit. He was like, man, I'm getting the fuck out of here. You motherfuckers have shit. Motherfuckers take you back to the motherfucker. I'm out.
Well, you know what he told me? Remember that when we were walking down the street and I put my arm around him? You remember when I put my arm around him?
Yeah.
And I was talking to him? Then we went to the MGM by ourselves to go to the fight.
Right.
And we were sitting around waiting. He goes, Frank, I didn't want to come here no way.
Yeah. He was, you know what? He was depressed, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Go back to his train of thought.
Yeah, he said,
Once again, Pac didn't want to go to Vegas. And when he was in Vegas, he told Frank, I did not want to be here anyway. He was beefing with Suge on Gridlock, and he was beefing with Suge on Gang Related, allegedly, because I wasn't there, but according to Frank, right? So they saying that Pac.
he said to me he didn't want to be there no way.
Oh, Pac wasn't feeling too good at Death Row in these last days, y'all.
Wasn't he?
Yeah.
Go back to his train of thought.
Yeah, he said to me he didn't want to be there no way. Well, get this. I was told that while he was on Gang Related, that last week he was upset about going to Las Vegas.
Frank, I'm even go better than that. When you went upstairs to change your clothes, and we were downstairs, I said, what's up? Because he was moving like a little bitch.
Right.
I said, yo, what's up? Man, it's all kind of bullshit. And he told me, he goes, Mike, whatever you do, come back downstairs when you get dressed. I want you to be there. And I thought, boy, Pac, if anything, he wants to ditch me.
Right. But he already tried.
He can. He ain't never, ever said to me since I've been working for him, come back down, I need you here. He ain't never said that, Frank. Never.
Y'all hear that? Pac felt the energy. He knew these niggas was trying to do something funny. Now Michael Moore is saying, yo, any other time Pac is trying to ditch me, he was like, yo, Michael, after you get dressed, come down, man. I need you. Make sure you're going to be here. And what happened? Reggie made sure he didn't be there. He put him on the cash register. Why? Because Michael Moore didn't want to give up his gun. And Pac is sitting there telling Frank, excuse me, he didn't want to be there. They saying Pac is depressed. You know what I'm saying? It ain't no telling what that conversation was about at Suge house. When you look at Pac photo, that last photo, he don't look happy. So Pac was feeling the vibe that something wasn't right. Because Michael Moore said he always
Right. That's when you was walking. He goes,
head down near the casino.
then when he said, Dad, I got a little concern. I said, yo, Pac, is everything all right? Because he would sit down underneath one of them little slot machines, and he had his head down. So I said, yo, nigga, what's up? What's up? And he said, man, all kinds of shit. You know, then he said, hey, you coming back, right? That's when you was walking. He goes, there goes Frank. See, he seen you first. Right. He goes, there's Frank right there.
Because I saw him waving too.
That's right. And he said, you coming back, right? That's the last thing he said to me. I said, yeah, you know I'm coming back.
The last thing he said to you.
Yeah,
Sure was.
that's right.
Sure was.
See, now I'm looking at that, and then I'm looking at all the shit prior.
Right.
Now, I'm going to tell you another person who's
So that lets y'all know that Pac wasn't happy-go-lucky around everybody in Vegas. He was nervous. He was scared. He telling his security niggas, yo, come back, when he normally would be ditching them. And they talking about his energy. He down, he somber, right? What's wrong, Pac? What's wrong? Oh, man, a lot of other shit. Because, nigga, who you think he was talking to the most when he was in Vegas? And remember, Suge wouldn't even let Frank ride in the car with them.
I'm a little, who I did a little research on. You know that attorney?
The one that was out there? Yeah.
We were told he was an attorney, right?
Right.
He had a card saying he was an attorney.
Right. I have his card.
Somebody said he wasn't.
Oh.
Somebody said, now, Frank, I'm going to be honest, and hear me out. And this is going to make you open your eyes.
Now, right here, what you're hearing is Michael Moore said, remember, Reggie told all of them to come have this meeting with this attorney, and the attorney is the one that told them that they can't carry their guns, right? Michael Moore said he researched the guy. He can't find him as an attorney. While they in the meeting with him, he's looking around. All the pictures on the wall ain't the guy that's in the room, right? The name on outside the office ain't his name. So he's saying, yo, I don't think that guy was a lawyer. And who the fuck was he? Right? But all he kept saying is, yo, y'all ain't got no guns, right? 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 This whole shit was a setup. And Reggie ass was in on it, allegedly. I gotta say allegedly. Until it's proven in court. And then I can say, I told y'all so.
All the shit prior. But now, I'm going to tell you another person who I did a little research on. You know that attorney?
The one that was out there? Yeah.
We were told he was an attorney, right?
Right.
He had a card saying he was an attorney.
Right. I have his card.
Somebody said he wasn't.
Oh.
Somebody said, now, Frank, I'm going to be honest, and hear me out. And this is going to make you open your eyes. Frank, was it necessary for all of us to go there and hear that? Or did just Reggie have to go?
Well, Reggie should have been the only one that went.
Why did we have to go?
Yeah.
See what I'm saying?
Right. Reggie could have dealt with that and then had a meeting with all of us.
Why was it so insistent that we were there? Remember how much he made a big deal?
Right.
I need all you guys over here. I need all you guys at this guy. Why did they do that? You have to give me an answer on that.
Well,
You see what I'm saying?
yeah.
Why? First of all, I'm the owner of the company. We're getting the licenses and working. Isn't that business end of it? Isn't that something that's between the manager of the company and the person getting the license?
That's right.
But you never hold a meeting. Why
Not
would you
with all of the employees.
not with all the employees there?
Right.
And then insist that we get there. Remember how he he just talk about not carrying a weapon?
That's how we talked about basically.
What else did he say, Frank? It was hard for me to even remember anything else he said.
Yeah, I don't remember a whole lot he said either. He made it a point to make sure about the weapons.
He made it a point.
Yeah.
He made it a
Now, didn't Reggie tell y'all that he didn't tell these dudes not to have their weapon? And Frank supposed to have his weapon, and in the book, he talked about he left his weapon in the car, all that. They had meetings with a fake ass lawyer that they saying is they don't know who the fuck this dude was. That was some business for them to handle. That guy to handle with Reggie. They didn't need security to be there to have this meeting with this guy to tell him not to carry no guns. And why he kept stressing not having no guns, not having no guns, not having no guns. Because they knew the fucking hit on Tupac was already down, right? And Reggie ass knew it too. Allegedly. Now, there's more, but I want to get to something else real quick, right? No, let me get to Club 662. Bro, this shit was a setup and Reggie was involved, allegedly. This is his people. He called a meeting with them.
I'm telling you. Something was definitely wrong. That office wasn't his. And then he said something about it. Remember? He said, sometimes we work in each other's office or something to that. Remember? Why would he say that?
It's a lot of unanswered questions.
You see what I'm saying? Yeah. I'm telling you, Frank, something is not right. I'm telling you. It just didn't add up. It didn't add up. Reggie was so weird. I'm going to tell you another thing. Let's look at Reggie's thing. Why would Reggie, he's never, ever went to that club and started to, why was Reggie and Larry there? Why was Reggie and Al there? He turns it over to Al every time. He turned it over to you. He turned it over to Marcus the time before that.
He was never there.
And he was never there. Why was he so insistent on being there? And
Now, y'all hear that? Y'all hear that? Certainty, what up? Y'all hear that? Reggie never, ever, ever, ever goes to Club 662. He usually turns it over to Al. He turned it to Frank over to Frank before that, and somebody else before that, and somebody else before that. Reggie's never, ever at Club 662. Never. But the day Tupac and get into a fight, he's not around. The day they get shot at, he's not around. And he wants to be at the club that he's never, ever, ever, ever at. Here's
never there. Why was he so insistent on being there? And I asked him. When I first got to the club, I said, Reggie, why are you here? Aren't you going to shoot? No, I got to take care of some things at the club. And guess what? What did he do different? Nothing. Nothing at all. He did nothing. He just was there.
Y'all hear that? Nah, I'm going to the club. I got to be at the club. What did he do at the club? Nothing. He did nothing at the club. And he's the head of security. Tupac got beef with the whole East Coast, allegedly, just, going to the hype of the legend of the story, and you telling me he ain't got no security on him with no gun, all because of the orders of Reggie and George Khaleesi's, and Reggie keep trying to say, oh, well, in the grand jury testimony, well, I don't know if I told him or George Khaleesi told him. I can't remember. I know we just told him that they couldn't have their guns. Nigga, you know, you like, come on, stop. You heard him? Reggie, what are you doing here? Why you not with Suge? Oh, I gotta be over here tonight. I gotta be here. But he did nothing different from what he normally do. So, like, why the fuck?
Reggie and Larry there. I was Reggie and Al there. Well, he turned it over to Al every time. He turned it over to you. Well, he turned it over to Marcus the time before that. He was never there. And he was never there. Why was he so insistent on being there? And I asked him, when I first got to the club, I said, Reggie, why are you here? Aren't you going to shoot? No, I got to take care of some things at the club. And guess what? What did he do different? Nothing. Nothing at all. He did nothing. He just was there. He was just there. So I'm telling you, shit didn't add up. It didn't add up for me. I'm not convinced. By any means am I convinced. You know, the shit looks a little crazy. You know, when you look at the whole picture, why they were so insistent. Why are we in an office? This guy's name's not even on the door. This guy's giving us a card saying he's this, but we're at an office where we shouldn't even been. We never did that. We showed up to this guy, and we had no idea what we were doing there. And he didn't even make sense when we got there. Reggie can normally tell us that. Reggie normally tells us, hey, you know, they're going to be sweating. You know, don't come in when you first come in, but then whenever the heat goes down, get your shit. Reggie told us that. We had a point to have someone else be there to do it. You see what I'm saying? You don't think something's a little strange about that? See, to me, the questions aren't answered. They're not answered. Reggie never goes to that club. Never. And all he kept doing. Well, what I didn't understand is how come Reggie is Suge's bodyguard and he wasn't with Suge?
Y'all heard that one? Why is Reggie Suge's bodyguard, but he's not with him? Does that make sense to anybody? How is Reggie Suge's bodyguard, but he's not with them? And this is coming from people that work for Reggie's security team. Michael Moore is not convinced that this was not a setup. He was shook.
We were doing there. And he didn't even make sense when we got there. Reggie can normally tell us that. Reggie normally tells us, hey, you know, they're going to be sweating. You know, don't come in when you first come in, but then whenever the heat goes down, get your shit. Reggie told us that. We had a point to have someone else be there to do it. You see what I'm saying? You don't think something's a little strange about that? See, to me, the questions aren't answered. They're not answered. Reggie never goes to that club. Never. And all he kept doing.
Well, what I didn't understand is how come Reggie is Suge's bodyguard and he wasn't with Suge?
So, here's something funny. When Suge called for him, he knew how to get a hold of Reggie.
He didn't even ask me where was Reg.
That's right. That's right. Right. He asked for Reggie. First of all, before he was even looking at the fight, he was saying, you know, where Reg is.
Well,
Now, let me tell you this. Have you ever seen Reggie without?
nope. He ain't without him now.
That's right. You see what I'm saying?
Y'all heard that? They said Suge was looking for Reggie. Yo, where Reg? Ask Michael Moore. Yo, where's Reg? Nobody know where the fuck Reggie at.
You see what I'm saying? All the time we go to. That's right. Right. He asked for Reggie. First of all, before he even looked at that fight, he would have said, yo, where Reg is. Well, now, let me tell you this. Have you ever seen Reggie without? No. And without him now. That's right. You see what I'm saying? You see what I'm saying? All the time we go to work, we saw that shoot. Really? Have you ever seen him where he wasn't with us? Oh, yeah, I feel you. I feel you. You see what I'm saying? You ask me questions like, and then I'm listening to one end of what he's saying, and one end of what she's saying, and I ain't buying off of that. That's why I won't answer that question about his Eric. Really none of my business, but I'm gonna tell you there was some shit happening that was weird. You know what I'm saying?
Now, if that's not convincing you enough that Reggie's own security are insinuating that Suge and Reggie allegedly set Pac up, if that don't speak volumes, I don't know what. But I'm telling you, I feel like the prosecutors at Las Vegas are protecting Reggie because he was a cop. And that whole blue wall of silence, and that they won't sit there and look at blatant evidence like this, Reggie's own security force accusing him of killing Tupac, right? And Las Vegas Metro Police Department prosecutors will sit there and think that Keefe D is lying with when he's saying that Reggie orchestrated it, whether he played a part in it or not. But how do you not believe that with this type of evidence and Reggie's inconsistency and his lies? Now, in the interview that I did with Mo Preem, right? He said I lied about him knowing that Orlando Anderson was the shooter the same day, and he did not find out that Orlando Anderson was involved until 3 days later when Tim Brennan went up to Las Vegas to look at the surveillance video with the Las Vegas Metro Police Department talking to Orlando Anderson at the MGM in the lobby after he got jumped, right? So now Reggie's saying, "Oh, I didn't know who did it, and I ain't say no names. You know, I didn't know until days later. Until I didn't know nothing about Orlando until the day Brennan went to look at the video and he identified them." Now, I'm going to tell y'all that either Las Vegas Metro Police Department got the slowest people working for them in the prosecution, or they're not looking at Reggie Wright Jr. as a suspect. Because his lies and his inconsistencies should show anybody that if this nigga's story keeps changing, the truth don't change. Now, his own daddy said Reggie called him and told him Orlando Anderson shot Tupac within an hour of the shooting. Reggie said he didn't find out who did the shooting until 2-3 hours later when he went to the hospital when he talked to Suge. So is his daddy lying or is he lying? But I'll tell you one thing. I'm not lying. And to prove to you that I'm not lying, I'm still under fair use right here. Now check this out.
To work for him. And for that's when he became Suge. Everybody said he was Suge's bodyguard or something. It wasn't necessarily he was his bodyguard. He was just over security, and he spent most of his time with Suge. And that's kind of like that. But yeah, all that went down. There was a whole lot of stories behind that. I mean, somebody's out on the internet now talking about I was at the fight that night, and I was part of the crowd, and I was bodyguarding somebody. I was at home sleep. When the stuff jumped off, Reggie called me at home and told me both Suge just got shot and Tupac, and he thought Tupac was dead at that time, but Tupac died 2 or 3 days later or something. But that kind of how that went down that night and stuff. But
So something I was curious about, obviously a little bit of time passes, Biggie's killed as well, which you said, may have been in retaliation. But I've heard stories, you can tell me whether this is true or not, that in the aftermath of Tupac being killed, it's one of the most kind of famous hip hop stories in history and one of the most famous gang stories.
True story.
Something I wanted to ask you about, just with the fact that your son was kind of, working on the death row security situation. Did you ever worry about him, or were you ever kind of just concerned or nervous for him kind of being involved in that side, whether it was before or after the Tupac situation?
All the time, even when he first started working, because like I said, I turned down working because I knew that didn't mix. But my son, who was right there when I met with Suge, he knew he was starting his security business anyway. He was starting, wondered why, since I didn't want to take it, I didn't let tell Suge. But my son at that time, 30-something years old, starting his own business. So when I got away from that, he and Suge got together, and Suge started hiring him in his security, right way security, to work for him. And that's when he became Suge. Everybody said he was Suge's bodyguard or something. It wasn't necessarily he was his bodyguard. He was just over security, and he spent most of his time with Suge. And that's kind of like that. But yeah, all that went down. There was a whole lot of stories behind that. I mean, somebody's out on the internet now talking about I was at the fight that night, and I was part of the crowd, and I was bodyguarding somebody. I was at home sleep. When the stuff jumped off, Reggie called me at home and told me both Suge just got shot and Tupac, and he thought Tupac was dead at that time, but Tupac died 2 or 3 days later or something. But that kind of how that went down that night and stuff. But
so something I was curious about, obviously a little bit of time passes, Biggie's killed as well, which you said,
the police had to get involved because we talking about a homicide, and well, they didn't know it was a homicide, but attempt on my boy in this fight, and all this is going to be really, I would say, notorious. Yeah, shooting is going to be all over the. But
8 Sleep's brand new Pod 4 is truly incredible right out of the box. Installation is pretty simple. This goes over.
So something I was curious about, obviously a little bit of time passes, Biggie's killed as well, which you said, may have been in retaliation. But I've heard
and get involved, they hear about this Reggie Wright that's over security, who wasn't there, but he contacted them, and they talked. I'm talking about the investigator, not the patrol guy, and they wanted to get information about the shooting. Well, gang culture, you don't talk to the police, you don't give up that information. So Reggie, the kids, the guys that were in the entourage, the other cars and stuff that eventually chased the shooters off and chased after them, the police wanted to get their story. But you don't talk, and you should probably wasn't going to allow him to talk. So when they heard that Reggie Wright was over security and he talked to him and he couldn't get them to come and talk to the police, well, Reggie Wright is taboo, or he's part of it or something. I'm getting involved because Reggie is calling me knowing that I know about all this and it's going to come back to the city, like getting to your original question. He called me and started telling me, hey, man, there was Orlando and them behind this. They got in a fight because they saw the chain, saw Orlando.
Y'all telling me Reggie ain't orchestrate this? How the F would he know it was Orlando? He wasn't even there, and he called his pop. He didn't see Suge, nobody at the hospital for 3 hours. And he told his father it was Orlando.
I know about all this, and it's going to come back to the city, like getting to your original question. He called me and started telling me, hey, man, there was Orlando and them behind this. They got in a fight because they saw the chain, saw Orlando.
You heard his father say they saw the chain. Hey, yo. So they yo, either Las Vegas is slow. I ain't gonna disrespect them like that. You know what I'm saying? Because maybe they just not as sharp as the rest of us out here. But how, KVD, make sure your lawyer see this show tonight, please. Somebody make sure KVD lawyer see this show tonight. Now, I'm gonna show you another clip of his father saying it too.
Of it or something. I'm getting involved because Reggie is calling me knowing that I know about all this and it's going to come back to the city, like getting to your original question. He called me and started telling me, hey, man, there was Orlando and them behind this. They got in a fight because they saw the chain, saw Orlando.
Y'all telling me Reggie ain't orchestrate this? How the F would he know it was Orlando? He was
investigating and get involved. They hear about this Reggie Wright that's over security, who wasn't there, but he contacted them and they talked. I'm talking about the investigator, not the patrol guy. And they wanted to get information about the shooting. Well, gang culture, you don't talk to the police, you don't give up that information. So Reggie, the kids, the guys that were in the entourage, the other cars and stuff that eventually chased the shooters off and chased after them, the police wanted to get their story. But you don't talk, and you should probably wasn't going to allow him to talk. So when they heard that Reggie Wright was over security and he talked to him and he couldn't get them to come and talk to the police, well, Reggie Wright is taboo, or he's part of it or something. I'm getting involved because Reggie is calling me knowing that I know about all this and it's going to come back to the city, like getting to your original question. He called me and started telling me, hey, man, there was Orlando and them behind this. They got in a fight because they saw the chain, saw Orlando and all that. He says, but it's them, So I'm into that right now. So I start trying to call that night, 2:00 in the morning, as the lieutenant. I started calling Las Vegas.
Yo, do y'all hear this? Do y'all hear this? He told him it was Orlando. Yo, somebody get ready to go to jail, right? Now look, I don't know what's up with Las Vegas, but if I keep catching Reggie in these lies and these inconsistencies, like they need to just hire me to work for them. You know what I'm saying? Because they need some help over there if they can't see what Keefy D is telling them. Because if Reggie called his father within the hour and told him it was Orlando Anderson, right? But Reggie said he didn't find out till 2-3 hours later. And I'm going to let you hear Reggie's father say that it was within the hour of the shooting, right? Shout out to Kimmy Love and OG Patrice, right? Because now I got to show y'all, being that Reggie father already spilled the beans that Reggie already knew, listen to what Reggie says here.
How did you call so fast after the shooting? If nobody, like, when you were, you called it, I believe you told someone right after the shooting, not long after the shooting. How did you know so quickly that the shooting had even taken place?
Baby, I didn't know until I went to the hospital and we sitting around, everybody crying, and I went in the emergency room and talked to Suge and stuff. Where they went.
Okay, Reggie, you went to the hospital?
I want to invite you to a free trading and investing workshop right here in North Atlanta that will forever.
And you went in the emergency room and talked to Suge, a motherfucker that just got shot in the head, and they sitting there working on it. You went in the emergency room and they let you go in the back and talk to Suge. You're fucking lying, nigga. You're lying.
Well, let's say for a minute let's say it's not true. Let's say it's true. Let's be stupid. I know, but let's say it's true for a minute.
Okay.
So what you're telling me, what I've just heard, was that he didn't see the cars like he said. He saw all the police cars taking off and leaving Club 662. He never heard anything over a radio. He never heard anything from George Kalisis. This is all the different stories he's told about how he was alerted to it. And now he says he didn't know anything until he got to the emergency room.
Yes.
You know, I got to tell you something. The amount of mental energy that this is just a thing. The more lies you got to tell to more people, the harder it is to keep up with them because you can't remember what you told who. Okay. Problem is he put all these into YouTube videos, 1,700 YouTube videos. He put all that stuff and he recorded it. I got together with George. I hitched a ride with George Kalisis to the hospital. Okay. He says that. He says Michael Moore couldn't have heard anything over the radio.
Call with Michael Moore.
Well, and he said Michael Moore couldn't have heard anything over the radio because we were in the club, and I got notified by Buntry or somebody that came to the Club 662 allegedly and told him that. Right. Okay. And now it's I didn't know anything until I got to the hospital. Really?
And went in the emergency room.
Oh yeah, I walked back to the emergency room where two high-profile celebrities.
Mother couldn't have went in there and talked to him after getting shot in the head.
Kevin Hackey sure couldn't.
Thank you. You crazy? They not letting you back there, and he's not. And he's not even first. He's not even first to kin.
Well, and they don't even know who he is. Two people just got shot. One is on life support.
And Suge like, oh, yo, that was Southside that shot us. Yeah, right, nigga.
That was Southside.
And you called your father that fast? Mm-hmm. You got to the hospital, went to the emergency. Suge told you it was Southside, and you called your father within 30 minutes and told your father, and you got to the hospital in 30 minutes.
It was within 5 minutes. Within 5 minutes of the shooting, he was on the phone with his dad.
How could you get to the hospital that fast, bro?
Wow. Well,
Suge. Also, Reggie, you said Buntry and Neckbone came to Club 662 and told you that Suge and Tupac got shot. I ain't hear Neckbone say nothing about going to Club 662 after the shooting and telling you anything. Actually, I heard Neckbone say he went up to Las Vegas Boulevard and was up there on Las Vegas Boulevard with them. So, Neckbone, did you go to Club 662 and tell Reggie that Suge and Tupac got shot? And then, Reggie, you go and say, oh, I went to the hospital with George Calicius and Michael Moore. For a while, you were saying Michael Moore wasn't even next to you to hear no got him. Now he got in the car with you and went to the hospital. Well, why did you go to the hospital when they were still up on Las Vegas Boulevard? How would you know what hospital they went to when they were still on Las Vegas Boulevard? Such a liar. Such a liar. Now, I got another exhibit here. Hold on. Now, where is it? Let's see. Hold on, y'all. I got y'all 1 second.
Do not fear. I'm here. Hold on. That's it. I'm sorry. I got so many receipts. I think that's it.
Oh yeah, here it go, y'all. You know what? I think they might have I ain't gonna take no time looking for it. I'll wait till I'll what you call it, I'll find it first. Let me see. Is this it? Damn. I think they took it down. All right, don't worry, I got it saved somewhere. I'm gonna have to look what I look up what I was gonna show y'all. But however, right? Like I said, we know that Reggie's dad said that Reggie called him within the hour and told him that it was Orlando Anderson. Here we are 30 years later. We don't know who did it, but Reggie knew immediately who did it. And when you take that, factor that in, that he knew who did it before any police investigation was done and called his pops and told his pops, should speak volumes. The fact that he was still cool with Keefy D and doing publicity for Keefy D when Keefy D got locked up, he was on the phone with him, doing business with him, getting them booked to do interviews. After knowing that he's supposed to kill Tupac 25 years earlier than them doing business in the early 2020s or 2018, 2015. Not to even mention that Reggie Wright Jr. is in Keefy D's payout book in that 95-page report, right? Which is written by, who did that report? It's either Eric Perrin, I think, that did that report, or Reynolds, one of them, right? So what I wonder is, is Las Vegas really trying to protect Reggie? Here's how I would know if they're trying to protect him. If we don't see Kevin Hackey testify. If Kevin Hackey is not subpoenaed to testify in this case, after he went on Biggie and Tupac documentary and bet $100,000 that he could prove that Reggie had involvements in one or both murders of Tupac and Biggie. If he was working undercover and he said he knew for a fact and could have them locked up, if he's not subpoenaed and brought into this case, then we know that the police are allegedly covering up for Reggie because other police is involved allegedly. And they don't want the scandal. And they just gonna railroad this Keefy D dude. Because Reggie inconsistencies and his lies don't add up to nothing. He don't know Kevin Gaines and Rafael Perez and David Mack, but he's on the phone with Sharitha asking her about Kevin Gaines. And did she pay him with a check from Death Row? And she, oh, I ain't stupid. I'm scandalous, but I don't know. I'm paraphrasing. I'm scandalous, but I ain't that scandalous. I paid them in cash, whatever she said, right? We had at least 6 to 10 people that was at Death Row, signed to Death Row, worked at Death Row, say that they saw Rafael Perez and David Mack around Death Row and Kevin Gaines. We know Kevin Gaines was with Sharitha. We know that he was Snoop bodyguard. But Reggie doesn't know any of them. Right. So what's going to happen here is Reggie thinks that because Keefy D is locked up, that he ran and slid across home base and think his funky porky butt is safe. He's not safe. Someone still can get arrested. So, with that being said, this ain't over. Okay? And Porky, your time to shine is going to be right around the corner. Oh, you actually got 2 months. What is it? August 17th that joint's supposed to start? Yeah. You got 2 months from today, baby. I hope you're ready. Choke no joke, y'all already know. Hit that subscribe, hit that like. You're not fooling nobody but yourself, Porky, because we got you. Stay tuned. I'm out.
How I do it. This is a diss, would be specific. Hit you with a sub, you blacklisted. Her third tour, it's ridiculous. You in the crowd, babysitting. Mad at pics, fans flicking. You got a Billy, they dick licking. Kids, your son and dad missing. You duck in the swab, results prison. I see your faces, the mad prism. Y'all rats, are you kidding? And if you sign, you have no wisdom. Integrity missing, money mission. Lamar Latrells in your system. Camel licking, nerves switching. Are y'all kidding? Y'all Virginian. Success, y'all dream sex. Sold a lot of units, but still checks. Squares, Nike, I run with checks. People use Marcy as pets. I move his skin, you on your head. All your tunes are dead. You ugly like your dreads. No bag, I'm on your head. No fag, I'm my shooter. You the glad Duke shooter. You do balls but no hooters. Choke no joke, I am the future with no Malloy. You play with boys, be out here wishing she was a boy. You her decoy, you her bitch. Choke no joke, I am the shit. Yo Kim, get off my dick. Mad Jim, king of the dips. Without you L's, you have no hits. Your last hit was True Life. When he caught you with that right. Yo Big Joe, am I right? Nigga Dane saved your life. And then you crossed him for home. Got on stage with Ho. You an actor, you ain't Poe. Joke no joke, you already know. Yo, man, I'm done, man. Joke, no joke. Yeah. It's joke, no joke. Let's go. Joke, no joke. Jigga, joke, no joke. Choke, no joke. Niggas choke.